suppose now that we want to add the logical constraints that we defined in the earlier video segments, right? So remember, the first condition was from projects 1, 4, and 5, we don't want to select all 3, we want to select at most 2, right? So projects 1, 4, and 5, right? These projects, we don't want to select all 3 of them, and it happens that all 3 are selected. So what will happen if I add this constraint? So let me just write to remember it was x1 plus x4 plus x5 less than or equal to 2, right? This is the condition we want to write. So I can implement this by saying, right, so this is the formula, mathematical formula. This is just for me to remember. And the constraint that I will define will be, right, I need to take variables, so I can do sum, or I can do x1 plus x2, and a sum of variables x1, x4, and x5. I will just select those variables. You can define it like this, right? Or you can define it as x1 plus x4 plus x5, right? Regardless, the formula is now equal to 3. And remember, now we want the condition that this should be less than or equal to, right? This is the implementation of this constraint, right? So if I now add this to the solver, right, the model, I want you to see we start with value 489. I add it to the solver, right? As a new constraint, I will say this formula must be less than or equal to. I'm enforcing, right, by this, I'm ensuring that I don't want to select all those 3 projects. And of course, you know, since this is going to be a restriction, we probably will get another selection, and the objective function value 489 will be worse, definitely not better. Maybe it will be the same if there is another optimal solution with the same value. So if I now click solve, right, solver found a solution, and you see 489 dropped to 469, right? Let's keep the solution. Now you see projects 3, 4, 5 are selected, and the objective value dropped by 20,000, and now we have the constraint satisfied. We didn't select all 3 projects. You see, from those 3 projects, project 1, 4, and 5, we selected just 2, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's one logical condition. Suppose we want to add another. Right, the other logical condition, remember, was if you select project 5, we also want to select project 6, because there is some dependence. 5 requires 6, right? So the constraint was x5 less than or equal x6, right? The explanation was if 5 is selected, then 6 must be selected. Now, in order to enter it here, I'm going to transform it to an equivalent constraint, taking all variables to the left-hand side. So this will be x5 minus x6 less than or equal to 0, right? So that I have a formula with variables on the left and then some number on the right. So because there is nothing left after we move x6 to the left, there is 0. I put 0. And so now we want to write this formula x5 minus x6, right? So now you see this value is 1. Again, I will mark it with color green to indicate this is a formula, right? The value is 1, but we want it to be less than or equal to 0, right? So this is our new constraint. Again, it is not satisfied, right? So this is no longer a feasible solution with this constraint. So if I add it now to the solver, if I go to the solver and add another constraint saying this less than or equal 0, okay, and I solve it again, I will obtain a different solution with the value 469. The objective value will probably decrease because I'm putting another restriction, right? And I solved it again. Solver found a solution, and you see the objective again dropped now to 391. Now we are selecting projects 2, 3, 4, and you see again we are satisfying those constraints, right? Within projects 1, 4, and 5, we're not selecting 3. We're actually not even selecting 2. We're selecting only 1, but still that's less than or equal to 2. And then we're satisfying the condition. If 5 is selected, then 6 must be selected. since 5 was not selected, there is no problem, right? The constraint is satisfied. Now, the third constraint that we defined, the complex constraint that we defined in the videos was, remember, if projects 2 and 3 are selected, then 1 must also be selected. And the formula for this was x2 plus x3 less than or equal 1 plus x1, right? So remember, this was if 2 and 3 are selected. If the summation here is 2, then x1 must be, project 1 must be selected, right? For this formula to work, 2 on the left-hand side will force x1 to be equal to 1, but any other value on the left-hand side will not restrict x1 in any way. Now, again, I will transform this by taking all variables to the left. So I will say x2 plus x3 minus x1 less than or equal 1. Right? So minus x1 on the left instead of plus x1 on the right. So let me write this formula here. x2 plus x3 minus x1. Okay, this is the formula, and I want it to be less than or equal 1. And notice it is not less than or equal 1 now, right? So that means the constraint is not satisfied. So again, if I add this constraint, I will get another selection of projects, right, that will satisfy all those 3 conditions. The new one, which is now not satisfied, right? 2 is not less than or equal to 1. So I will, the objective value will probably again drop. It definitely will not improve. Maybe it will stay the same. Maybe it will decrease because it's a restriction. So let me go to the solver, add the new constraint, the new formula less than or equal value 1, and then again solve. And once we get the solution, you see now it dropped, the objective dropped again to 345. And now we're selecting projects 1, 3, and 4. All conditions, all logical constraints are satisfied. So under these logical conditions, this is the best net present value we can obtain, and we obtain it by selecting projects 1, 3, and 4.